Hi everyone, Dr. Nick Jensen here from Divine Elements Naturopathic, and I'm your hormone and detox doc, and I'm here on day 7 of my fasting regimen. So how am I doing? I'm doing fantastic. It's quite profound, the kind of effect that fasting can have on everyone. So what I want to start off with again is why I'm sharing this. This is so important to know about what it takes to actually tick. And what it really takes is to have a vital, strong body. And too many people are suffering in this world with low energy, weight gain, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, all sorts of illnesses that don't need to be there, and they're highly preventable. So I'm on my own personal journey of health and healing and sharing, and I want everyone to feel this sense of vitality that can come with fasting and adding in naturopathic principles and working with alternative health doctors and your own medical doctor. There's a true benefit that we can all tap into. So in saying that, one of the first questions on the fast is where to start. And we've had so many great comments and suggestions and questions and shares of everything we've been doing so far. So I'm deeply appreciative of all that. And a common theme that definitely comes out is, well, how do I begin? So what I'm telling people is that, don't worry about doing a 4-day fast, 7-day fast, 21-day fast. Just start off with some basic intermittent fasting. If you're eating more than 3 meals a day right now, cut it down to 3. And get rid of that snacking. And ideally what you want to move into is roughly about an 8-hour window in your day, or 6 to 8 hour window in the day where you're consuming your food. So let's say you have 2 meals at this point, 1 at lunch, 1 at dinner time. Just by doing that alone and hydrating through your off eating schedule, you're doing a great work at helping to incorporate the healthy benefit of fasting. So don't worry about the 4-day in a row, the 7-day in a row. Just start with some intermittent fasting and make it simple on yourself and reap the benefit of just doing that alone, because it's very powerful. Now, something that does come up is anxiety around what it means to not eat. We are stuck in a culture of emotional indulgence with our eating plan, with getting stuck in front of the TV, with getting stuck in old patterns in relationship. So we need to break down these barriers that we have for ourselves and start to tap into something bigger than what we think that we are, because we're so much more than that. We're not just meat bodies walking around, we're spiritual beings and having a human experience. So how do we tap into that strength that's within us? Well, fasting is a phenomenal way to get there, because what you're doing is you're removing all this, it's called root chakra issues. So our root chakra issues are around survival, and not, hi Emily, how you doing? Around survival, we get stuck in this need for food, shelter, water, and community, love, and support. These are all amazing things. But what happens when we start to break down the walls of what we believe is true from our survival point of view? What happens if we start to pull back some of the food we're eating? And I'm not talking about restricting calories here. We know that doesn't work. What I'm talking about is adopting something called forced adaptation. You're forcing your body to create a response. And you can do that by fasting. So here's a reality. When you pull one of those survival mechanisms out of your daily life, out of your schedule, it opens you up to so much more. You start to realize you're a lot more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And you start to realize that there's a real benefit in tapping into this innate strength that we all have. So personally, what I found is that I'm just wondering how long I could go. I'm at day 7 right now, and I know that there's the longest documented fasting study was done on someone who did it for 382 days. Look it up. It's there, and it blows your mind just to think about that. So we are definitely tied to our eating, we're tied to our shelter, we're tied to our water and what happened and all this stuff. But what happens when we take it away? What happens if we just take one away? What if we take away food and tap into that innate intelligence? I was watching a great documentary last night. Oh, not documentary, a show last night that Dr. Jason Fung, he's a medical doctor in Toronto, and he was speaking to this issue. And we put all our effort into prescribing medications and this new diet and that new diet and all these things, when really if we just tapped into the power of fasting within our own regular schedule, that doesn't cost you anything. That's free. And the benefits are profound. So I'm encouraging people to take a closer look at this, because there is plenty of research, and more research continues to grow, and body of evidence in this field is quite profound. And when we really look at it, we were cavemen once. We were living off the land. We were having to scavenge for food. So would it make sense that our muscle wasted away before our fat? I don't think so. If our muscle wasted away before our fat, we would just be blobs with minuscule amounts of muscle, not really able to survive and go and catch that woolly mammoth, or go fishing, or do all these activities that we need for that muscle preservation. So there's more to this than just, again, cutting out calories. There's more than this to controlling diabetes with just insulin alone. There's more to this than using medications to suppress a symptomology when we have all the intelligence that we need. Your body knows exactly what to do when you get into a fasted state. This is powerful stuff. So yes, it can create a lot of anxiety pulling that food out, and I'm not saying it's easy. And anyone who's done a fast, it's not that it's easy. Michael Jordan didn't become the best basketball player in the world because it was easy. He had discipline. And what you put your mind to, obviously, you create. And here's the thing around goals that we create for ourselves. If we are truly setting a goal for ourselves to lose weight, to have more energy, to exercise more, whatever that goal is, a profound awareness comes when you start to pull away from these things that we believe are survival mechanisms. So you create a lot of resilience in your mind by doing a fast. It's more than just the physiological or illness prevention point of view. This goes a lot deeper. It starts to really tap into who we are. So when we're creating goals for ourselves, here's a great time to say, I'm not initiating on my goal. I'm procrastinating constantly. Well, what can I start to jump into? Well, let's start off with some intermittent fasting. And just creating that sense of discipline and that sense of control can go so far for you. Thanks, Mahan. And loving the loves and the thumbs up. And really what that means is that we can tap into this beautiful aspect of ourselves just by creating that sense of discipline, and who knows where that will take you. In my own personal practice, I've jumped back into meditation again because, I've got nothing else to do. I'm not going to be making food. So I might as well put that energy somewhere else. And it's beautiful. It was a beautiful experience to be able to do that. And this morning I was making these amazing keto yam muffins for my son, and loving the experience of cooking and baking and having him there with me. And it was wonderful. And I wasn't looking at the food going, oh my God, I got to eat something. I'm starving. No, I'm not. My body has tuned in. So that anxiety around food and that emotional eating pattern that we're all victim to, we all of us are, because there's a plethora of food around, and we've been programmed to eat as many calories as you can through the day to balance your blood sugar. Well, guess what? You're spiking your insulin constantly through the day, and that's how we develop insulin resistance. So we want to change that program. So I want to share my numbers with you because I'm 7 days in to my fast. So I checked my urine ketones. Of course, they were up. My blood ketones went from on a day 4 they were at 2.2. Now they're at 4.4. My blood sugar is holding strong around 62, which the Canadian conversion is around 3.3 to 3.5. And temperature comes down, and this is something to be aware of. When you're in a fasting state, your temperature will come down. And there will be times when you feel like you're hitting a bit of a wall. And one of the things that I do is just add a teaspoon or so of salt into water, and that just lifts you back up within about a half an hour or so. And my weight in total, I've lost 12 pounds. And then we have another test here that we do in the clinic that measures inflammation. And my inflammatory markers have come down significantly since being on the seven-day fast. Now, I eat healthy in general anyways, and we're always supplementing things that are supporting detox pathways and all that. But it's profound what can happen when you start to reduce that inflammation in the body too. And it's a great way to have an objective marker for that as well. So, yeah, lots to talk about here. This is, I mean, and I'm so inspired by all of you who have again shared this message and started to adopt some of these practices within just a short period of time. I'm getting stories from hearing people how they have lost weight and have never felt better, and a ton of people who can't wait to start to implement these basic strategies. And this is free medicine, people. This is something that you can do anytime. Doesn't cost you a thing. So jump on and start to experience it for yourself. Start off with intermittent fasting. And when you're ready, feel free to move into a fast. And those of you who do have some more challenges with your health, I strongly recommend you work with your naturopathic doctor, your medical doctor, your chiropractor, whoever has the awareness and tools to help and guide you through this process. Because this is something that we all are all born with. There's not a single person that won't survive in a fasted state. This is just who we are. So it's very cool stuff. So where am I going to go from here? My day 7. What I've decided to do is add in bone broth tonight with a little bit of coconut oil. I'm going to do that for a couple days, and then I'm going to decide whether or not to jump back into the water fast or to taper into my regular intermittent fasting routine. So I'll update on that. I'm just feeling so good. I'm wondering why I should stop, but I do want to experiment here. I mean, this is all experiment. I've done many fasts over the years, but I've never documented it like this before, so it's kind of fun to share and to hear feedback and answer any questions that any of you may have. So thanks for watching, everybody. It's been great sharing this process, and feel free if you have any questions, comments, your own journey that you'd like to share. We'd love to hear that. We can all learn from each other on this topic, and let's help make this world a healthier place. Thanks for watching.